Well, welcome back to the channel. Hope you enjoyed the last episode on the Sierra build. Well, the first episode in this series that we're going to be doing on the Zetec conversion. The last episode, we had a little recap at the beginning of when we built the turbo manifold, and we also figured out the clutch fork and modified the little pillar ball to go in there to give us enough thrust so we can engage the thrust bearing. So in this episode, we're going to be figuring out getting the engine mounts on. I mean, we put some engine mounts on, what come in the retro Ford kit, but the engine's got to go back in the car, but that'll be after we put the gearbox back in the car. And it's not like an MX-5 where the engine and the gearbox can go in as one whole unit. It's going to be going in separately, which makes our life really, really easy. Not. You can probably sense my sarcasm there, but hope you enjoy. Let's go. Right then, so here's the DIY mount kit from Retro Ford. We've put the bolts in there. There's one on the other side, obviously, for rear wheel drive. We've got to put an oil feed in here, so we need to get a T-piece because we still want to use the oil pressure switch. That's the new conversion rear wheel drive dipstick tube. So that clears that. We put the clutch back on and gearbox shit plate, as I like to call them. So we're going to mock that back up and make sure that this bolts up with this in place, because that will cover and give a bit of protection to the flywheel, stop anything from flying up and hitting the flywheel. You've obviously seen the gearbox before. We've got a Retro Ford water relocation for the thermostat. That'll be going on, and that's what we're using for that, to make life a little bit easier, because as you can see, it's going to be at the back of the engine instead of the side of the engine there, the thermostat. So that's going to be no good, pulling the engine out every time you want to change the thermostat. A little pillar ball, pivot ball. I will get a name of it at some point. That obviously works now. It gives us enough thrust that we need. So yeah, basically get the gearbox back on. Just make sure that the ship plate and the starter motor and everything goes on nice. And we'll go from there. Then we can get the Sierra on the ramp. And then hoist this heavy lump back in. Winning. You know just how much I love rattling these big heavy gearboxes into place. Oh God, here we go. Oh, surprisingly easy that time. He says. Nope, don't want to play. It's up there, but it's not the right bolt. These are. Time to get the jack again, I think. as promised, this is the starter motor we're using. This is the one that came off the Sierra. I don't know if you can make out the codes and stuff. Everything you need to know to cross-reference is here. And we know this works. I hooked a battery up to it. And yeah, we cranked the car over, so there you go. Starter motor goes on with 3 bolts. And then there's one at the bottom, down here. So that's your starter motor on. I think we're going to put the water rail on next and start ticking some of these off the list. And here's what we have. I've never fitted one of these. I've turbocharged cars before, which have had them on already because they've usually been naturally aspirated. Usually got throttle bodies on or whatnot. So yeah, let's give this a go. Right, so we're offering up the water rail and come across our first issue. I mean, I don't understand why they can't just figure this shit out, like, and tweak it to suit. I mean, this is for a rear wheel drive. I mean, how are you supposed to lift the engine? So this has got to come off. The lifting eye. Then I'm going to have to extract the actual thread out of the head. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I try and keep these little videos PG-13, but sometimes I just want to swear. Because this is shit. It's dumb. I'm going to lock this off there. I'll go and get another 13 mil. Right, so if I lock this off here, I can wind this thread out. I mean, they designed it for a sensor to go here, and that comes in the kit. Why can't they just make it there? Seriously. Stupid. I have to figure out another way of lifting the engine in and out now. So this is going to go here with the sensor in. I'm just mocking it up for now. So you've got what looks to be an 8 mil that goes here, 8 mil head, M6 that comes in the kit. And then you've got this plate, and that goes where your thermostat housing used to be, and this bolts up to there. And you put the thermostat in, make sure you get it the right way, and that'll go in there like so. Then you use the multitude of bolts that they give you to crank it all down and get it into position. So it'll sit somewhere there, like so. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a nice bit of kit, but it's not very well thought out. I mean, that moving a few millimeters down, like 50 millimeters down, is not really going to change the temperature of the engine, is it? But who am I to know? If I was this clever, I'd make these things myself, wouldn't I? All right, so we're going to offer this up. You've got 3 short M8s. I can almost guarantee they're going to go here. In this side. Get them started. Before I do that, I'll show you. They give you an O-ring, and that goes in to the back of this plate here. I feel I need to tell you everything to expect. This stuff's not cheap and it'll leave you scratching your head. Some of it will, I guarantee it. Trust half my Allen keys to be missing while I'm filming, but it is what it is. Back to it. Get the right Allen key. I'm just tightening this up. Don't overdo it. The fact that they give you O-rings and stuff means that you shouldn't have to use sealant. And then you've got 3 slightly longer M8s. I'll come back round here. And there's your thermostat. Threads go that way into that backing plate. So make sure thermostat goes in that way. Got a little recess into this housing here. It's a bit of a fiddly one. So, and you can start putting your bolts in. You can see for now, one's going to be a pain in the arse to get to, that back one, which is deep down in the back of there. Of course it is. Try and cheat. If it'll let me push it in that way. I think it's working. Definitely turning anyway. Take the load off this. Tighten that up last. Get this fiddly arse one in the back tightened up. It's the one you don't want to leak. Pull this out of here. Sort of get to it. Don't know how this is looking on camera. I can't hardly see what I'm doing from this point and I'm standing over it. Don't want to over tighten them, but you want them tight enough. Just nip them up. Being an absolute hemorrhoid to get to. I have to get creative on this one. Your socket. Just cranks it up using a socket. You can tighten this up now. Don't know where my ratchet's gone, but I'll tighten that up in a minute. It's probably over here somewhere. There we go. So that's a water rail on. Then you've got this temperature sensor, which comes with a copper washer. That's probably going to be about 22 mil by the look of it, but I'll tighten that up shortly. And that's that done. Winning. So that's the retro Ford water rail conversion for rear wheel drive. All on. This sensors for the dash, so it gives you the temperature of the engine. I was confused as shit about this. Some threaded piece at the back, but apparently that hose comes off here and goes to the bottom of the radiator or something. So I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But yeah, I'm a bit pissed that there's no place to put one of them on. A hook, so I can hoist the engine up. That hole's a bit too small there, but I'm sure I'll have to figure something out, as with most things on this conversion. Yeah. Plates are on, ready to make some mounts. Gearbox is all bolted up. A little 10mm goes in here. Keep the ship plate bolted up to the gearbox. So yeah, that's it. Time to get the car on the ramp and take this gearbox back off and haul ass and try and lift it up and get it up into the car and mount it up. Then I can figure out how to get the engine sat in place. Then we've got to build the mounts. And there's the two original mounts. I don't know whether I'm going to reuse them or use these that come with the kit. The kit's neither here or there. Not really that impressed with it, to be honest. There's 2 sets of tube, 2 of them donut things. There's your tubes. Comes with a shitload of nuts and bolts, but they don't give you any idea of what they are because there's no instructions of any of this shit. The plates are decent, they fit nice, don't need to drill out any more holes or anything. They come with spacers. I don't know whether to take, well, this might be the best option if it will work, but engine's still got to sit in the car anyway. Mount these original mounts to the Zetec engine plates, the new mounting plates. Might work, it might not. It's got 2 chances to my 1, but I think that'll be the nicest option instead of welding 2 tubes up, because the problem you got with the tubes are you've got plates which weld to the bottom of these. How are you supposed to do that nut up with a tube welded on the top to one of these plates? Run around like a blue arsefly. So you put your nut on there, yeah? Then you're going to cut this at an angle to mount up to that plate. I'm guessing. So you're going to have like permanent donuts on there, and when you've got some heat in there, you're going to melt the donut anyway. So a great idea was that. Probably someone more educated than me and probably paid a lot more, but I don't like it. So I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, when the engine's in the bay, because you need to figure something out. I don't know how you guys have done it, whether you've used this retro Ford kit before. As I said, I'm happy with these plates. the cut nice, the bolt spacing's properly done. But yeah, God knows. So I've set this up now, and I can tell you that this mod works, but you probably want to see it work. The little ball adjustment I made on the inside. If I my caggy-handedness. That's engaging the clutch, look. Beautiful. More than enough throw now. So, there you go. Right, so, while we were at it, you got this donut here. And as you can see, it's cabbaged. It's all split and battered and old and shit. So we've got a brand new one. Looks better made than the other one. Who's it made by to help you guys out? It's got a brand on here. Auto Mega. Sounds like a transformer. So plonk this on here. All right. Job's a good one. And that one can go in the bin. I've took the water rail back off because time is precious and time is of the essence. And me trying to figure out how I'm going to get the engine in the car with the water rail being in the way is going to piss me off. So I've took it off, put the hoist loop back on, and I'll put the water rail back on when it's in the actual car. So yeah, not the best way, not ideal. I don't want to be messing around with water rails and stuff when I shouldn't really have to. I mean, it would have been quite easy just to figure it out so you can lift the engine out without taking the water rail off. It's like a tongue twister. I sound like Jonathan Wass. Anyway, so that's why the water rail's back off. It's back in the bag, nice and safe, so we don't lose anything. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. Right, car's back in the air, back on the ramp, and I've been asked to change this prop shaft donut bearing here. I've tried to get my circlip pliers in there because there's a circlip that needs to come out to release it. Tried to get them in there. That was a non-event. So I've got a couple of trusty picky tools. I'm going to just try and pick it out. And hopefully it didn't spring off and end up in the shadow realm somewhere. There's always fiddly things, they're never easy to get to. Oh, it's going to shoot off and hit me directly in the face or something. And it would have been tricky enough to do it with the circlip pliers, but that's a non-event in itself. Nope. I have to find some more picky tools, some better ones. Lo and behold, I might have one. This is basically what we're replacing. There's one of them inside this housing here. So we'll get the circlip out, which holds it in position. Press this out, or however it goes in, push it in. Put that back up, this bracket, and put the circlip back on. It should be jobs are good in. No, it's not going to play ball. Oh, well, that worked, didn't it? Okay, now. Right, I had to get one of the lads to go and get me a bearing puller because this had to come off the spline and it was a pain in the arse. So there's the old one. That's off. New donut things in there. Spinny, spinny. It's got to put the circlip back in. Easier said than done, but we'll have a go. Hopefully it plays ball. I made a mark as well to where this sits. Sure it goes that way. And this just slides over. Like so. I'll try and get this back in. Circle it. It's a fiddly job. We'll be back in a minute. Alright, donuts back in now, circlips back in. I'm not going to lie, it'll be too long before I see another one of these things. So, I'll just eat this one. What a pain in the arse of a job. Fiddly as shit. But it's done now. So, time to try and get the gearbox in. Wish me luck. Like always, I get asked to do little side jobs. While you're just doing this, can you just do one of them? And right before I was about to hoist the gearbox in, I remembered that the customer asked me to do a short shifter conversion. So luckily I remembered at the final minute. Never done one of these before, but it looks pretty self-explanatory. Here you've got two pins. I call them bitch pins because obviously they're a bitch. So you have to knock them out, and they never tend to do as they're told. So I'm going to try and knock the bitch pin out. I use my punch. And I'm going to try and use a little screwdriver. That's getting stuck in there. You're best off with like, there you go, bitch pin out. So, with a bit of luck, always everything with a bit of luck, which it's not. So I'll come back to that and knock it out shortly. Again, We've got a circlip. You know how much I love circlips, because someone nicked my last circlip pliers. I haven't seen them, but that come out fairly easy. Thank God. So you've got a circlip. Then some sort of ring here. I'll try and get out. It's like a big washer but really thin. Sometimes I wish I was on your side of the camera. These fiddly jobs in my head in. I'll try something else. Underneath, you've got a 12mm by the look of it, or 13mm. We're going to crack that off. If it'll let us. Try not to lose that. You're probably all screaming at your screens now, going, "You're supposed to do that first." Well, I'm learning on the job, okay? So I'm allowed to take the long way around. I might have to knock that other bitch pin out, I don't know. No, I shouldn't have to, but trying to get my head around it. Right, that's the bottom section off. And I imagine this should just pull out. Well, in theory it should pull out, but it's not going to, so. So give it a gentle tap. No, that didn't work either, but that ring thing come off. Don't seem to want to come off, but this has got to come off. Just like that, I'm guessing. So you got this plastic collar here. And I suppose that keeps all this on. It's where Carl gets a picky tool through the finger and end up going to A&E. Rather it be me than you, I suppose. Shit the bed. Oh, she come in. Well, it's come off there, but there we go. She's coming. So now I'll put some grease on. Like so. Try and squeeze this back on. So that's in. Little rubber thing here. like an O-ring to keep the tension, I suppose. So that's on. Starting to get somewhere now a little bit, I think. Need to get this off here now. These tend to always be the worst jobs. I was hoping it'd knock out, but I'm guessing not. Move these out of the way. Not even remotely moving. I have to get a little chisel on the go and gently persuade it off. So it seems the key, pull it in the vise, get a chisel and give it a whack, and that comes off. Hopefully we don't have to do it for the other one. So yeah. This one might go in nice and easy. Seems like it should. You give it a little tap. Nearly there. These things are sent to test us, I suppose. If you hear kids screaming blue murder, they're playing over the back. So I apologise. Again, I got the wrong hammer for the job. Right hammer time. Let's get this bitch pin back in. Not quite there, but it'll get there. And that's that in. I hate fiddly jobs. Can hate them. Somehow this has got over here. There we go. That's that now sat in there. So, circlip a lot. It needs to go down a bit more. Seems better. I hate circlips. You can shit things out. Oh, let me go home. Right, circlip's back in place now, so that's on. Need to get this mechanism back on. If I remember how. That's in there. So, pin goes through here. If it wants to play ball, nothing ever does. Definitely tighter than the last one. And we're through, finally. And you got this washer thing. It's like a lock washer or something. Then your 13 mil. Tighten that up. Voila, there we have it, short shifted on. Let's get out of here. Right then guys, I've chucked the gearbox up onto the transmission stand. I put the bracket back on, which is these two little bolts here, one here and one here. So that's on, ready to go into this position. Sorry about the playing noise in the background. And what we have to do now is keep it in this position because we need to fit the shifter. Now it has two M8 bolts either side, and then these two sit onto two little like sort of pins that stick up off the gearbox. There's like a little brace on there. The shifter itself, to attach to the gearbox, is like a little circlip thing here and another bitch pin. We all know how much I love these bitch pins, but yeah, that's where we're at. All right, so now we're back over to our trusty knocking block, and we're going to get this split pin out and just sort of pry it off with a picky tool, like so. Bit of a tricky one, but it will come. There she goes. Then you've got the bitch pin. But this one's a little bit better than the others. You don't have to thrash this one out. It literally, this sits on the gearbox, like so. Bitch pin goes in, and then this little keeper spring type of circlip thing holds it in place, stop it from falling out. Simples. Right, so I've put the shifter on. There's two M8s, one here and one on the other side. And this was a complete utter arsehole to do. I spent so much time trying to get it into position, it's unreal. You can't get your hand up there or behind here to get the pin through there. I can't even remember how I got it out, but I managed to sort it in the end. I got a pair of pliers from the top and like tried to route it in. Then I put the circlip, like retaining clip pin or whatever it's called, on the top of that. So now we have gears. Winning. Short shifters on, as I said. So now it's about pulling the gearbox forward and getting the shifter up into the tunnel.
It was always me versus me. It was never me versus you. Misunderstood. Get up, had to beat those eyes. Got up and I beat those eyes. It's understood. It was always me versus me. It was never me versus you. And now I'm good. Wake up and I do my part. Wake up and I do my job just how I should. It was always me versus me. It was never me versus you. Misunderstood. Get up, had to beat those eyes. Got up and I beat those eyes. That's understood. It was always me versus me. It was never me versus you. And now I'm good. Wake up and I do my part. Wake up and I do my job just how I should.
Don't know whether you can see correctly, but up there is where the nuts go on. So we're putting nuts on there, but I've got you in my hand at the minute, so I'll have to put it back down, and you're just going to have to trust me that I've done them up properly. There's the other one. And there's the other one. So next clip, they'll be on and tightened up. Have to get a X-head on them. Big daddy ones. That's enough turns on there, so I know they're loose. I'm gonna go and get this on the gun. So I want to do tighten them up, make sure I've not cross-threaded the nuts, because we would be up shit creek without a paddle then. That one's nice and free. Tightening up. Right then guys, we'll call it a day on this episode. We've got the gearbox situated back in the car. We've changed the short shifter. We've done that, so I modified the short shifter. Prop shaft and intermediate shafts now fitted. The bearing in the middle of the intermediate shaft's been changed with the little rubber donut. The donut which goes to the gearbox, that's been changed. And a few other bits and bobs. We're still waiting on parts, so I mean I could put the engine in the car and start mocking up the engine mounts, but I don't want to damage this car and it seems like an unnecessary risk. I mean I could carry on, but I'd rather wait for the new clutch assembly to come, and a few other bits and bobs. Still waiting for a new turbo, because the one we've got is a mock-up turbo. I mean, it's no good to man the beast, but it's good and suits it, fits a purpose, so we used it for that. So yeah, just waiting for parts. So please like, share, subscribe. We hope you enjoyed watching the last episode, and hopefully parts will be with us very soon. So peace out. Well, I got it on now. Put this spline in. It's a bit fiddly. Took about 5 minutes once I figured it out. I'm gonna try and get this half shaft married up to the gearbox now. It's probably not gonna work even. This will be my luck. Fucking balls deep. The bearings fell off. The mount. It sits in there. It's a shit design. I'll put this under here again, drop it down.